The golden era for sports bettors, going back to like the 70s and 80s, where it was great for sports books and it was great for the sharp bettors. Why? Because there were so many squares that would just bet favorites and overs and all that other stuff. Well, now with the legalization, and I don't even know how many states we're in, but with that legalization, with all the 3- and 4-letter networks hiring people to do picks against the spread, in some cases, like on Sports Illustrated, they're just entry-level writers that don't know anything about anything. And in other cases, we're on like ESPN. They have guys who definitely know sports, but they know nothing about gambling. And they're always going to pick, well, they're going to pick mostly favorites because, of course, the good team is always going to match up better against the bad team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's where we are causing a lot of square plays and a lot of over adjustments, and this is the greatest cumulative run that the greatest sports services in the world have ever been on. Remember, we go back to 1980s on the score phone, and we've never ever seen all the services this hot simultaneously, and it is not an aberration. It's not an outlier for the reasons I said. Huge special at offshoreinsiders.com. Everyone's hot. Stevie Vincent, Master Lockline, Joe Duffy's picks. Everybody's winning. All right. Let's get to your free pick for today, and then we're going to take a look at who have been the best teams to bet over and under in college basketball. All right, free pick for tonight, and it kind of sums up what we're saying, personifies what we're talking about. Charlotte plus the 8.5 against Philadelphia is your free winner. Sixers are 5-1 straight up, 4-2 against the spread. They've been much better and much hotter than the Hornets, who are 2-4 both outright and in the back pocket. Charlotte's off of consecutive 15-point losses, while Philadelphia's 3-game spread streak includes 25 and 15-point wins in their last 2 games. So, what are the squares going to say? All these new gamblers who are betting money in sports books for the first time, they're like, oh my God, the Sixers are so much hotter. Of course I'm going to bet with them. Well, the public salivates over situations like this, and they know nothing whatsoever about regression to the mean. Philadelphia playing a little bit over their head. Charlotte playing a little bit under what they're capable of. So we do have a regression of the mean that says basically to go with the inferior and colder team based on spread and ATS records and margins. 702, 539, and 28. So yes, we are going with the colder and inferior team, Charlotte. Also, fading teams that gave up a lot of assists in their last game in a win, 664, 517, and 21. Again, your free winner is to go with Charlotte. And for all vetted sportsbooks offshore, please visit offshoreinsiders.com. All right, who have been the best teams, the best over teams in college basketball with a bunch of games played? I'm going to say with a minimum of 5 games played. Minimum of 5 games played. UMass is going over all 5, average margin going over by an average of 22.3 points per game. Now, these rankings are based on the margin they've gone over, not necessarily by their over-under record. Of course, they're somewhat related. Alcorn State's going over all 5 by 16.1 points per game. Long Beach State is going over 4-1 by 15.7 points per game. Wyoming over 6-1-1 by 14.8. Then we go to St. John's over 8-2 by 13.2. And Winthrop, I know a lot of people think they're going to be a dark horse team this year. They've gone over 6-7 by 12.2 points per game. Now, who have been the best under teams? And again, this is based on margin. Although Colorado State has gone under only 3 of 5, they've gone under by an average of 13.7 points per game. That is the largest margin of any team with at least 5 lined games. Idaho State has gone under 5-1 by 13.1. Another case here, Mount St. Mary's have only gone under at a 3-2 rate, but by 12.1. Charleston Southern and Middle Tennessee have each gone under for their 5 games this year. Charleston Southern by 12.1. Middle Tennessee by 11.8. And a team that's played a bunch of games and still been a great under, Troy has gone under 7-2 by an average of 11.1 points per game. But again, folks, it is not an outlier. You want to go in, lock in big time at offshoreinsiders.com. There are very specific reasons why the gap between the sharp and the square is the largest it's been since the 70s and the 1980s, and the sharpest bets are at offshoreinsiders.com. Master Lockline and Joe Duffy's picks have been around since the 1980s. Stevie Vincent since the early part of the century on the old Score phones. And please, if you like this information, literally like it, give us hearts. If you're listening on a podcast, please give us a positive review, a 5-star review on websites that allow that. And again, for the best information like this and the best premium picks and vetted sportsbooks, offshoreinsiders.com.